I have been falling for 30 minutes. If you actually think that I was just a right gay guy, gay guy, gay guy, gay guy, gay guy, gay guy. And you check your count.
What's up, everybody? It's the Monday Night War Retrospective here on the Clown World Review. I want to welcome everyone in the chat. I see Gap, Stargate, Superfan, Adam, Shawhan, Brutal, Morningwood, Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective. He's here on the panel. And the lovely Sherry. Thank you all. Keely Chow. Can't forget about you. The Fandom Ultron everywhere at once, including here every Tuesday night as we go over the best time to be a fan.
No strings on Etep.
No strings on Etep. And speaking of the man to my right, that's Mr. Etep Wokuian from Etep Wokuian's Place to Be Reviews. How are you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing absolutely great. Thank you for having me on. It is going to be an awesome show. We got 2 really good episodes of Raw and a solid Nitro this week. And as JR says, business is really starting to pick up. Kind of like Stroke Face Grace. Yeah, it's getting good. We've got full-on Stone Cold Steve Austin on WWF. WCW is inching closer and closer to that certain faction coming in that basically influenced my entire fucking wrestling career. So I couldn't be more excited for this time in wrestling. It truly is not the 90s from 95 to like 99, 2000 was like the best time to be a wrestling fan. It truly was. Thanks for having me, man. And hail this panel and this wonderful chat. You guys rock. Make sure you subscribe to Tony. He should have like about 600 more subscribers than he does. And frankly, I'm disappointed that he doesn't. I blame society.
1 day at a time. Yeah, well, we all blame society.
Thanks, brother.
And shout out to Parrothead, another monster. Thank you for joining us as well. Next up, we have, he don't sparkle like them ones on TV, Morbius or Edward or whatever his name is, but he is the vampire of all fandoms, Mr. Angelous Draven. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. Welcome to the Vampire World Order. Yeah, I'm here to talk some wrestling tonight, as per usual. Yeah, like he was, like Etep was saying, it's a pivotal time in wrestling. The 2 Raws where we watched this week were pretty damn good. Got some Mankind showing up finally, so it's gonna be nice talking about that.
Dude, that ending to that first Raw was absolutely brutal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
absolutely brutal. So yeah, man, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
And next up, from the depths of Pigomania, representing the Pig World Order, the Piggy World Order, Mr. Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective. How are you, sir?
We are doing well. We are live from the basement of the Clown World Order all the way to the chat. Are you ready? Make sure to share the stream out and hit the like button. Let people know that we are here because it's time to pickle. Oh, hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey,
I
brother.
love the energy.
Just chilling, just doing the piggy things.
Yes, yes. And Draven, I love your graphic. Tommy,
Thanks.
I love your graphic, man. It's like we're starting our own little clique here, you know,
Mhm.
our own group
Super
of
clique.
alphabet people.
Hey, just make sure you don't call it a cult. YouTube watches out for those type of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And last but not least, our guest for this week. He is the creator of Everlasting Survivors, and I will get that link dropped in the chat for everybody. Wonderful book. And the owner of the channel, Mr. Super Oz. Go subscribe to him on YouTube. It's Oz
Thank you.
himself. How are you doing, sir?
Thanks. Pop Pete back up.
Yes, yes, I will
Sure,
pop
sure.
Pete back up.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Everlasting Survivors Volume 1 all day long. If you like wrestling, it's got wrestling. Thanks, brother. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. I'm glad to be here for the first time.
Yeah, man, thanks for joining us. It's always a blast talking about some retro wrestling, looking back through, you know, the 20-year lens or so, and just seeing how things would evolve and where
15-year-old Oz was so happy.
yeah, the people we considered icons were still up and coming at this time, you know, and it was
Still hanging around. They refuse to die. And I mean, you know, Oz, welcome, greetings. Although it's a very auspicious greetings because I don't hear very men ask to see Etep pop back up. I don't know. That was just a little weird.
He was holding my book.
Oh, that's what she said.
That's what the kids are calling it these days. I was holding the book.
It did take both hands.
It did. It definitely did.
The girth matters.
I get paid double for that.
yes.
If I take my hat off and move over a little bit, it looks like I've got the look at me. I'm a clown
Yes.
now. Sorry.
Yeah. No. I had a tweet pulled up here that I wanted to show everybody, and I need to find it again. So maybe we'll look at that in between the shows here. Tonight we have 2 episodes of Raw, including the Raw after WrestleMania 12, the fallout from the 60-minute Iron Man match with Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. And then we have 1 WCW Nitro. This is the second time in a couple of weeks that they were preempted. So I think we've got the NBA Finals going on, if I'm not mistaken.
It's the playoffs.
Yeah.
That time of year would be the playoffs. I think it is.
Yeah, the playoffs. So, yeah.
Playoffs.
Obviously, the NBA is making more money for Billionaire Ted than professional wrestling was. So they just they didn't even give him like Thursday Nitro Thursday. They just said, no, just take the week off, bro. Go home. Right? More astronomical sized checks to more mediocre talent, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Well, you know how that works, though. Whenever they have the playoff stuffs going, they have to have multiple interviews with the same people from the same teams over and over again, playing on all those stations.
Yes.
They wear it the hell out. It's one of the reasons I stopped watching most professional sports. I can't stand it anymore. I'm tired of hearing it day and night. It's almost like listening about the goof.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so. So, what do we have here? April 1st, 1996, we have WWF Monday Night Raw, coming to you from San Bernardino, California. Our commentators are Vince McMahon and Jerry Lawler. And we start with the debut of Mankind, who we've been seeing these hype packages for the past month or so. Him screaming at his, what was his rat's name? George. He's screaming at this poor fucking mammal who doesn't understand what kayfabe is. It's just this guy in a fucking leather mat. Like, this poor rat. Like, I'm telling you, these days they'd CGI the rat just to
that rat thought he was getting eaten for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's like, this guy is unstable. And he's unstable, and I don't need to be a human to realize that.
Yeah. So dude's screaming about his mom's boyfriend hearing him crying in the next room over, and just all kinds of really weird shit. So entertaining but really weird shit. So he finally comes out. He wrestles against Bob Sparkplug Holly, which this made me think a few years from now, Bob Holly is going to be like, well, I've always been known for hardcore. That's why I'm going by Hardcore Holly now. And I'm thinking he's probably reflecting on like the fact that Mankind is the hardcore legend and entered the WWF well after Bob Holly, and Bob gave him his first match, and it's like, okay, now he's wrestling The Rock leading up to WrestleMania, and I'm still Bob fucking Holly.
You know, I bet you to a degree that Bob Holly was wondering how he was wrestling against this schlub, because I'm sure in his mind that that's exactly what he felt like he was, like legitimately.
Oh yeah,
Bob always thought highly of himself.
Yeah. And
Bob Holly could work, but Bob Holly had a milquetoast personality. Like he was truly like that, just vanilla, bland. I mean, he was a dick. I mean, that one trainee learned that the hard way, but I mean, dude had it
Matt
coming.
Capitelli, the guy with the brain tumor.
Yeah, that was kind of but Bob Holly took liberties with him. But he's
nobody knew he had
just
the tumor at the time either.
Yeah, no, he wasn't divulging that information. They wouldn't.
Well, look what he did to some of those guys on Tough Enough. I mean, some of the chops that he was delivering, he tore their chests up. Did not care.
Dude, to be fair, we did that to each other when we were training too.
It's not that, it's not to say that they didn't have it coming, but I think he went a little bit over the top with it. Like he really wanted to teach these punks a lesson.
Well, and Oz has got a background in this shit too, so he can test to this. This game ain't for everybody, and especially in places like Tough Enough, you get to, they're training the performance, the old WCW power plant. You got to weed out these cats because you don't want them to get on TV and then take a shit, and then you've got time. Dude, I don't care. She couldn't work, but Charlie Haas is a lucky man.
Amen.
God damn, is he a lucky man? I saw her come out of there and I was like, I am in love with this woman. Like, oh my God. Between her and that Linda Miles, the black chick that did the dominatrix gimmick, I'm like, I'm sold.
Well, Etep, I mean, look what happened later on when they kind of eased the restrictions on what the wrestlers could do to these Tough Enough people. You got somebody like Ashley Mazzar or whatever her name was.
Oh, Jesus. God rest her soul.
You know what? Could not wrestle to save her life.
No, she was fucking the drizzling
I would go so far as to say early Alexa Bliss had more skill.
Yeah. Alexa... Oh, go ahead, Tony. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say Ashley had a certain it factor, though. Like,
she did.
Isn't she the one who, did the splits and punched the ring mat and fucking when all the other girls were just kind of bland out in the ring? And then Ashley went out there.
Or the redhead chick?
I don't remember her doing that. I remember her just doing the devil sign, the I love you sign into the crowd. That's all I remember her doing.
Yeah.
Christy Hemme used to do the splits and punch the ring. The hot ass redhead.
Dude, why didn't Ashley was just all Avril Lavigne in it up?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
She, Christy Hemme could have played Mary Jane Watson.
Oh hell yeah,
dude. Yeah. Anyway, Red Gaze says, "Did I hear the drizzling shits?"
Hail Red Gaze and hail Frankie Knows, hail Chris Fisk, and if I missed you in the chat, hail to you too. I appreciate everyone joining us here for the Monday Night War retrospective. So Mankind debuts. He debuts the Mandible Claw, and if you guys remember back then, he came out to that miserable, sorrowful music, and then when he would win the match, it would play the
more upbeat version.
Yeah, the real happy music, and it was it was kind of cool to see. On one hand, we see Steve Austin just one piece at a time putting his gimmick together, and they'll still call him the Ringmaster sometimes they'll call him Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's white boots one week, black boots the next, but then Mankind comes out, and a lot of the staples to his character were established since the very first time he walked through that curtain. You know, he was playing the character well.
Yep.
Well, the 2 different theme songs, the Mandible Claw, a lot of his move sets and mannerisms, and Mankind. You know, Mick Foley had Mankind down from the start, so or at least since the first time the fans saw him.
Yeah, he's
so
just
good for him.
super talent. Super talent.
Yeah.
Real quick, Chris. No, they did not censor Red Gaze's comment. You actually got to make sure you switch from top chat to live chat.
Yep.
Yeah.
I still don't understand why they automatically go to top chat with that shit.
It doesn't make any sense. That throws me off too.
So
It's like I want to see the live. Oh, there was. I'm sorry, Tony. I don't know if you saw in the private chat, but there was dark matches.
Yeah,
And-
before we go any further, we should check out the dark match, which I still don't know why they do when they film like 4 weeks
3
worth
episodes.
of TV there. 3-4 weeks. Yeah, so it just go with the episodes, Vince. Fuck.
Right.
Save that extra effort for like actual compelling storylines or something.
Let's see here. So the what is this? The April 1st edition at the Orange Pavilion in San Bernardino. We have the Ultimate Warrior defeating Goldust, the Intercontinental Championship match, in an Intercontinental Championship match, but it was by countout. So title stayed with Goldust and his thong and garters. Then we have Ahmed Johnson, the darkest chocolate I've ever seen that's vanilla as fuck, and Jake Roberts defeating Owen Hart and the British Bulldog in a tag match. And
Which
to
one of
round
these is
out,
not like the other?
right?
Only
we
one
had,
of them doesn't have talent.
I was
And
gonna
it's
say when
Ahmed.
you say one is not like the other, it's like Jake the Snake was actually kind of spicy, but those other 3 motherfuckers are pretty vanilla. Rest in
Yep.
peace, Owen, but damn.
Yeah. Well, shit. Owen and Bulldog are dead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but they're still
Yeah.
more talented than Ahmed Johnson any day of the ever.
Yep. Ahmed Johnson was like the definition of like $1 million body and like I wouldn't say a 10-cent brain, but no working ability in the ring. Like,
For sure, yeah.
A Sid Vicious personality. Well, you know what? They brought those big guys in just for the looks, and sometimes they worked out and sometimes they didn't. Like a lot of those guys that he brought in the, even through the 80s into the early 2000s, a lot of them were just terrible, and they could not work beyond some of the mat stuff that they did. One of the rare exceptions, I think, was probably Big E Langston. He did learn to work eventually, but when he first started, he was just like Ahmed Johnson and the rest of them. He was just a big guy with no skills really at all in the ring.
That's what makes this current NIL bullcrap doesn't make any sense. Next in line to what? Fucking suck.
Speaking of big guys that like just had muscle but could not work, I have one name that I submit to you to exemplify that. He was in the Brawl for All. He was in ECW for like a cup of coffee, and
Baracus.
probably not. Yes, you knew. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yes, Brockus. I didn't think anybody was going to get that, Oz.
I'm good
Well
at wrestling
played, sir.
pointless trivia.
Well, that is an obscure fucking name, sir. Is Brockus. But yeah, that was one of them guys. Like he was in the Brawl for All. I'm like, what are you even doing in like you? I watched him work Taz, and like I was like, holy shit, dude! Like, dude's fucking terrible.
Absolutely, but he looked like a star, and that's what Vince wants. I don't understand why he's obsessed with it, but yeah, clearly him and Ahmed and countless others. Yet when you have people like Bryan Danielson or CM Punk who can work their asses off and cut promos and be beloved, he's like, I'll piss on this guy. I don't care about them
because they're smaller.
I get it, but
but that's Vince's whole thing.
But the biggest problem is you can't train passion. You can't force somebody to love the wrestling business.
Nope.
No, absolutely not. Well, Oz, I mean, we look what Vince McMahon did with Bret Hart for a long time in his career. he kept him stuck down in that tag team division because he didn't think that he could be a breakaway star on his own. And it wasn't until later on that he was like, oh, yeah, no, I can move somebody like him. And if it wasn't for Bret Hart moving in that position, you would have never seen people like Shawn Michaels and all these other people coming up ranks like that.
Oh, for sure.
See,
and it's people like Bret and Shawn that influenced Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, and all the people that aren't being appreciated or, have left because they didn't feel like they would be appreciated now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's the problem with the tag team division. They don't put any stock into it anymore. Like, there hasn't been...
I know that it's an illusion that I believed as a child, but I want the illusion I believed to be as a child to be true. I want Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart to have earned their way into the Intercontinental division from the tag division and earn their way into the world title division from the Intercontinental title division.
Yeah.
Because if anybody tries to convince me that Chad Gable can't be a top star because he's, 5'10" or some shit, they're lying, because that guy has personality. He's a great wrestler. Like, just look at him smile. The guy, he's a freaking born babyface, but yet he's in a heel tag team with no knock on Otis. He's entertaining in his own right too. But he's in a nowhere heel tag team with a fat dude. Oh, yay. That's progress right there.
Isn't Gable the one that they did the Kurt Angle's son gimmick with?
It's the one they should have done Gable's the one they should have done.
No. It was his old partner. His old partner, the black dude, is the one that they made Angle's son. Jeez, what's his name? Was it
Jason Jordan?
Jason,
Jason Jordan, yeah. Yeah, Gable's the one who should have been the illegitimate son because he actually went to the Olympics. And but whatever, they swerve bro. Yay, swerve bro.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of it is. It's kind of cheap writing, lazy writing, and like you were saying about earning your way into certain divisions, and it's better when wrestling has that certain kind of structure to it. Instead, they overproduce, but in the wrong areas of the presentation of the show. They should really they should be more selective of who they push. Like, I'm sorry, but Roman Reigns is another one who just kind of wasn't ready when they started giving him that push. And from what I hear, he's gotten better. I don't watch as much anymore, but he was
well, it's impossible not to get better. Not when you're the primary focus for 8 years. If you don't get better after 8 years of being handpicked to be the guy, you've got to get better.
They had to switch him heel for people to actually give a shit.
There just
which I should have done that 5 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah, there wasn't that it factor there. There wasn't the passion there. He didn't know what it took to be a star, but they were still pushing him like he was one. And the fans can just tell in authenticity. So that that's why he got booed. So Mankind wins that first match. Or do we still
one more dark match?
Okay.
Just one. Let's see. It was. I'm sorry. We got sidetracked, and it was good. So that's why I didn't say anything. The Undertaker went over on the man they call Vader.
That's
Leon got screwed.
Match.
Not in the Taker match, but just as a general concept, Leon should have gotten so much more success in the Fed.
That's
him
a dark match, though.
Him in WCW and New Japan he was the monster among monsters. I loved Vader. And in Boy Meets World. Boy Meets World, Vader was the man.
Sean's dad or whatever.
And they did make such a big deal about bringing him in, too, and then they just kind of threw him in the background.
Yeah, they did.
Yep.
Gave him a shot at SummerSlam. He must have gotten on Vince's bad side. Maybe
it was actually Shawn Michaels that was the problem.
Yeah,
because Shawn didn't want to work with him, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Shawn
Vader was stiff, and Shawn didn't want none.
That's why
in your house. Sorry, go ahead, Tony.
No, just Shawn was the source of most problems back then.
But that's why the In Your House My Time went from being Vader's pay-per-view to Sid Vicious going over.
Oof.
Wow.
And I liked Sid for a while, because he was a fucking monster. But when I got older and I started to figure things out more, I was like, man, this guy's rough, and then he broke his freaking leg.
Yeah, I think my favorite time of Sid's career was in, I think it was like late 91, early 92, where he was beating guys so bad they were having to be gurneyed out every match. He was always job guys, obviously, but that was just, it was a good presentation.
And that's why they did that. Remember Judge Jeff Jones with him in ECW? They'd bring the stretcher down. Sid wouldn't even come out. Homeboy Jeff Jones would come out in the judge outfit. He'd push the stretcher out. Somebody be in the ring and be like, "What?" And then out comes Sid. Come out, hit the choke slam, and it was go home time.
Well, Vince wound up employing that later on with what's his name, Snitsky. He tried to do the same type of shit with him.
I just remember Snitsky's foot fetish and punting a baby.
Man, I remember him being dirty and having to pop pimples and weird ass shit. Man, I probably couldn't so much.
That's weird.
Yeah.
It was gross, dude.
So
yeah,
the number one, that's not a bad dark match. Vader versus Undertaker.
No.
And you said Undertaker won that one?
Undertaker went over.
Okay. So yeah, he'll be wrestling tonight too, in the main event. So we get Mankind's debut. He wins decisively over Bob Holly, and then we're shown the whole drama between Wildman Mark Marrow and Hunter Hearst Helmsley at WrestleMania. Triple H blamed his loss. Ultimate Warrior basically squashed Triple H, and he blamed that on Sable.
Max Landon.
Yeah. So, anyway, so it goes over that, and then we actually get Wildman's debut. And he wrestles against Isaac Yankem, and Mark Marrow beats Kane.
It's a good match. It was honestly a good match.
Yeah.
Mark Marrow could work. They really, the WWE really wasted his talent, I think. WCW didn't do him any favors either. You put the TV title on him.
No, go ahead. My bad.
No, you're fine. I was just going to say they put the TV title on him for so long, and then he was always in dark matches with it, feuding with Paige. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, this guy is over. Like, the crowd fucking loved him as Johnny B. I never liked the gimmick per se, but I liked him,
I agree. Yeah, I'm the same way. I thought, go ahead. Sorry, Tony.
I'm thinking because he was getting over, he was demanding more money on his contract. Obviously, it was getting ready to expire, and Bischoff has shown a pattern of doing this. Brian
did to Bret Hart
first. Yeah,
I was about to say that's a real good point, because even before Bischoff, though, Bill Watts did the same thing. He threatened to make Pillman the highest paid jobber in the business. Pillman's like, "Fine, do it. I ain't taking a pay cut." Yep. So yeah, you're right. It probably is a pay issue. But yeah, I agree with Etep that Mark Marrow was, a great talent. Johnny B. Bad was he wasn't my cup of tea with the blush and the, all the makeup and stuff, but
he's like Little Richard.
But he was over.
And his little pop stick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For
the
some
bad
reason,
blaster.
the fucking fans. See, this is a time when, we got to remember Kurt Cobain was already dead. Like, the height of the grunge era had already happened. So for someone like Johnny B. Bad to be over, that does take talent. It does, because he could have easily been Disco Inferno.
Well, especially in the South too.
Yeah.
Oh, you God. Like what you say about that Disco Inferno?
Disco Inferno. God.
Yeah. You leave Glenn Gilberti alone.
Him or the cat.
Yeah.
Dude, Ernest Miller was another one. I liked Ernest Miller.
Yeah.
I didn't like, what was her name? They had Mrs. Jones with him or whatever. I thought that was kind of stupid. She was fine as hell, but it was stupid. But dude, his gimmick for like a Saturday night, like WCW Saturday night,
Brown.
or like a Thunderword, he was funny as shit.
Yeah.
And he could legit, he could actually work too. That was the thing. If you put him, but you have to put him with the right person.
Yeah.
Like him and Horace Hogan, Horace Hogan with anybody, Scott Norton, him and Norton had some decent I loved Scott Norton though, but we'll talk about that on WCW. But Marrow was a completely underutilized talent, and it was over the second they put Sable on TV for him. It was fucking over.
And that's
That
the
shit
point I
wrecked
was
him.
going to make. His theme ended up being Sable's theme. So, like, from the beginning, it and even they showed Sable on TV first. And then after the match where she escorted Triple H, then we got the backstage debut of Wildman Mark Marrow. So from the very beginning, Sable was kind of put in the forefront. Like Vince signed the guy on, saw the girl on his arm, and was like, I don't know, who's this? My name's Sable. And he's like, Sable, I'm Vince McMahon. And next thing you know, we're doing, well, I guess it was with Trish, but kiss my ass segments, you know?
Yep.
It was the Trish storyline, but off camera.
Yeah, exactly.
And now she's married to fucking Brock Cauliflower Ear Lesnar.
And Brock ran away.
That's
They
disgusting.
together too.
Did you guys read Chris Vista's comment?
Yeah, that's fucking nasty. I read it.
Yeah,
I love it. I love his euphemism though. Baby gravy.
Yep, that's fucking hilarious.
Oh god.
Yeah, Sable was she was on top of the world then. I mean, she was one of the most popular personalities in the WWF, so good for her.
No, you said that wrong. You're supposed to say she was on top of most of the world.
Yes.
I just listened to an interview with Nash saying that is the one segment nobody in WCW wanted to be up against was a Sable segment because they knew they'd lose.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
they were like, no matter what you put us against, just don't put it making her.
Think about it. You've got now we're talking 1996. Pamela Anderson's like apex. All right, big. She had big tits, blonde hair. You know what I mean? It was
hotter.
Oh no! I'm talking about Sable. I'm making that's why she was so popular.
Yeah.
She was like the WWF's Pamela Anderson.
Yeah.
She was, and that sold back then. You know, I mean, and looking back at it now, I'm looking at her going like, I don't think you're that attractive. Like,
yeah, I always thought Tammy was better looking.
Yes.
She just got in the adult business too late.
Yeah.
Way too late. A couple armed robberies.
Yeah. Couple dead husbands. What's up, Vinny? How are you doing, bro?
Oh, hey guys. How's it hanging?
Low and to the
Good,
left.
brother.
Oh, all right. Excellent. Me too. And down my pants leg, but yeah.
Hi-yo.
Hi-yo. Yeah. Sorry, I was listening before Fauci did another one. I know we're talking wrestling, but he did more experiments. Did you hear about them?
No.
He did trans operations on monkeys to study HIV. I shit you not.
What?
How that has to do with HIV, I will never fucking know. But yeah, $200,000 of our taxpayer money.
Jesus. They torture monkeys. They have an island off the coast of South Carolina, and they do all kinds of fucked up shit.
He's also gone to Africa and try to take out the people over there multiple times.
I'm telling you, he's the top heel of the promotion.
Oh yeah. He is.
If Earth was a promotion, he's the top heel.
Yes.
No, I'm sorry. He's nowhere even close to being the top heel because he just misses every single target. I don't have that problem. Oh, wait a minute. I never fired anything. My finger never touched that trigger. That gun fired itself. Cocked and loaded itself and fired itself.
It's a magic
I'm out of here.
Well, Alec only killed one person. This guy allegedly fucking mass genocide to a level no one's ever seen before. In all of
let me tell you what, you son of a bitch, Vinny. It's not from lack of trying. I did try to take him out.
I'll do it for Tommy. You're wrong. 5 million people going to 6, you sons of bitches.
I saw him at the hearing today, and like one of the representatives asked for his financial disclosures if he'd make them public, and he's just, my financial disclosures. My financial disclosures are public. You don't know what you're talking about. You can go look at my financial disclosures right now. And it was yeah.
Frankie, I see what you're saying there in the chat, and we'll let you know there will be an exclusive interview on Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective's channel. I will be talking about everything that happened and who the real suspects are.
It was the Splendid packet, wasn't it?
Hey, you're gonna have to wait to see.
I found the fingerprints all over this Splendid packet that happens to be in my pocket. That's who the culprit is. We need to get DNA tests and swabs. We need to find out who did it, but it was definitely the killer. His fingerprints are all over that packet that was in my pocket.
That's what we call projection.
Holy shit.
Yes. So we were talking about Raw, Vinny. It's the Raw after WrestleMania 12. The show starts off with two different debuts. First, we get Mankind, he beats Bob Holly, and then Wildman Mark Marrow debuts with Sable and defeats Isaac Yankem. So,
excellent.
Yeah, it's already been an action-packed Raw.
I was in the
So
back
two WCW debuts on Raw. Cactus Jack and Johnny B. Bad.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I was in the back a little bit when you guys were talking about Vader. But yeah. Shawn Michaels, I remember he was the reason why they didn't do anything with Vader. Sons of bitches.
Shawn Michaels. He wasn't even that good. Like, I'm watching it, like, I don't see it.
His ladder matches were good. I'll give him that.
I was never a fucking Michaels mark. I never... Like, I didn't like them. I didn't like the Rockers. I was always the heels, though. I like the Hart Foundation.
Yep.
Brainbusters?
Honestly,
were you into the Brainbusters?
Dude, fuck Arn and Tully. Fuck yeah. I remember because when they came over to WWF, I was like, "What are the Horsemen doing over here?" You know, it's
dude,
like
they had everybody but Flair. They had everybody but Flair.
Dan
Dude,
Spivey.
I like the old school guys. I like the Moon Dogs.
Oh, Moondog Spot, Moondog Rex,
Samoans.
Aka
I like
and
guys
Sika.
like what was oh Jesus,
Alpha.
No. I was thinking of Mr. Fuji and Professor Tanaka, or no, not Tanaka. Was it Tanaka?
Was it?
They had that one tag team back in the day too. I forget what they were called though.
The Powers of Pain, the Warlord and the Barbarian.
No, it was the two Asian guys.
He's talking about before Fuji became a manager.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. But back to Michaels, I never like understood like I mean I understand like he was I understood why because I understand the business now and he was backstage the Orient Express. Thank you, Chris Fisk. Shawn Michaels was a politicking motherfucker. He was a politicking motherfucker backstage.
Well, the thing is that before him and Brett turned on each other, they were on the same boat. They were both tag guys. They were both smaller guys.
Yep.
They were both trying to break through that 300-pound wall that was in front of them.
Yeah.
And then once they got there, that's when they turned on each other.
Yep.
It's
They
like
got the Beyond Thunderdome. You know, 2 enter, 1 leaves.
Yeah.
Brett had.
Well, and I fully subscribe to the fact that if Vince had chosen Brett over Shawn, the entire world would be the wrestling world, obviously not the real world, but the wrestling world would be different. I think that everything would be better if Vince would have just picked Brett over Shawn.
Yep.
And what I mean by that is if Brett's still in the company, Owen doesn't go up to the fucking – I mean, I need to stop cursing so bad, but Owen wouldn't go to the rafters if Brett was still in the company. If Shawn wasn't in the company, all he'd do is go over to WCW, hang out with Scott and Kevin, do a bunch of drugs, but then he'd meet his wife earlier than before. He'd get clean sooner, and, everything else would basically stay on track because Brett would lose the title to Steve at 14. Because Austin's still going over on top. It's not like that Austin's not going to be the top star.
Yeah.
So Shawn goes away after 14. So it's like, as a matter of fact, I think that it would be better for everybody if Vince would have just chosen Brett over Shawn.
Of course, but Sean was blowing Vince.
Hart was Hart was
That
Hart
was
was
it then.
older. Hart was older than Michaels. He had more experience. He was more mature. You know.
Oh, of course. He knew how to be the face of the company. Michael just wanted to be a little fucking prima donna. That's the big difference. One guy
That's the
actually cared
difference
about the business, and the other one is a fucking blowhard that they were trying to push in a different way.
And that's the difference. Look at Brett came up in the dungeon. His dad down there, you know, making him cry, beating the fuck out of him every day. You know, him and Owen and them. And it's just like, dude, this guy, he was meant to be. The problem was he couldn't cut promos. But if you just gave him a couple seconds to say a few words, they were usually impactful. So it worked, you know.
Yeah, he got better later on when it came to the promo stuff.
But just imagine that the screw job happens, right? But it's Vince taking Brett's side, and now Vince, heel boss Vince, is putting his full backing behind heel Bret Hart.
Yep.
So now Bret doesn't have to cut promos because heel Vince McMahon's doing it for him.
Yep.
And now heel Vince McMahon is cutting the promos for heel Bret Hart. Everything is solved. Bret's an excellent wrestler who doesn't have to cut promos. Vince is a great promo that doesn't have to wrestle. And now we build into WrestleMania 14 where the anti-authority Steve Austin takes the title from the great wrestler Bret Hart, who puts him over. Easy peasy, nothing to it. Great match. Not smoke and mirrors. Don't have to worry about, hey, is the champ going to drop the belt? No. Bret's going to do the job, and it's all going to be fine. Sean's going to go down south, going to hang out with his boys, do a bunch of drugs, get drunk, and then meet his wife, get clean, and everything will be fine. And honestly, I think that if Sean goes to WCW, when Vince buys the company, he might actually treat it a little bit better. He probably wouldn't, but it's still, there's at least that very minute chance that part of history might have changed as well. Because they're still going to lose. Like, they're still going to waste money. They're still going to make stupid damn decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the big question: if Sean was to go, does that change Hunter Hearst Helmsley's direction as well?
No, he's still going to marry Steph.
Yeah.
No, you don't think he would have followed those guys down there?
Not if he gets in Steph's pants.
Yeah, that's it. And that the only thing DX, I think DX still would have been the same.
Mm-hmm.
It might not have had the exact. It would have just, maybe he gets lost in the shuffle until post-Mania, but post-Mania, just do the exact angle where he brings back in the 1, 2, 3 kid. They link up with the Outlaws, and pretty much all of Triple H's storyline stays the same.
Yeah.
Like I said, you might have just him lost there from November till March, but who cares? Plenty of people get lost from.
Yeah, well, he got punished anyway.
Yep.
With all that bullshit, and he had to go back fucking down. He had to work himself back up from the ground up.
Absolutely, and with what we're talking about right now, it was a part of his punishment time because of that whole Warrior crap that he had to eat and like it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Triple H.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
where Warrior no sold his finish.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tony. I'll shut up.
We're an hour in and we haven't even got through the half of the first one. We really got to get to this. Okay, so Mark Merrill, he defeats Isaac Yankem, and during the match, speaking of Triple H, he's out there harassing Sable. After the match, Sable smacks him across the mouth, and she walks off with Mark Merrow to celebrate. And speaking of the Ultimate Warrior, he'll be returning next week on Raw. Next up, we get Sunny. She's coming out talking shit with the Body Donnas, who, if I'm not mistaken, are the champions now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. They had won them the day before at a house show or some shit, or
they
beat the Godwins.
Yeah, and it was maybe it's Superstars or something. They just showed up on Raw with the titles, and Sunny's wet, and you can tell she's saturating through the mic, and the audience can definitely connect with that. And they come out, the new champions, the Body Donnas, come out. They defeat Barry Horowitz and Aldo Montoya. Who would have seen that coming?
That's not
Yeah.
awesome. That's just incredible.
Yeah. And then,
Don't pat yourself on the back too hard.
Yeah.
I was doing the Barry Horowitz. He's a Jew. The Jewish jobber, Barry Horowitz.
Fucking Barry Horowitz. Like,
He had a
Did-
mullet.
did
He was like a
he-
Jew with a mullet too. I'm like, oh, Barry.
did
Oh,
he like
Barry.
grow up watching Bruno Sammartino? He's like, I'm gonna be Barry Horowitz when I grow up. That's who I want to be. Like, change your fucking name. Come up with something cool. The Shocker or fucking something.
Dude,
You're never
I
gonna
was at
get
this,
anywhere
I
with
was at the
Barry
Vinny
Horowitz.
promotion, and they had a guy named Gary Horowitz to play off of Barry Horowitz because he was the local
Nice.
loser.
Wow.
Oh,
He's
I
actually
used
the
to
only
work-
guy I've ever pinned.
Really?
And if he was
Yeah.
the Shocker, he would have had the perfect hand sign to throw to the crowd.
Dude, okay, so there was this cat in Michigan. He this big ass black dude. I worked with him in Flint. He was out of Detroit. He worked a lot for XICW. His work name was Michael Antoine McMahon. And he literally like acted like he was like the black illegitimate son of Vince McMahon on the indie circuit in Michigan.
Oh, that's
Well,
awesome.
Was his
He
mom's
started
name
doing-
Jackie?
Yes. He was conceived in a shower in Memphis, Tennessee at the Memphis Civic Center in a bukkake circle with, never mind. With Jerry
Vince,
King
is like,
Lawler.
Vince would run out if he found that out. He's like, "There's no way, because there's no way I could get a male referee pregnant. That's not my son."
But
Hail my
started doing this-
sketchbook.
oh,
Sorry.
hang on, let me give it to him. Orale, viva la raza! There you go. I give you the K dog. I give you the K dog. I got the L because I got the LWO back here, man. Eddie forced all the luchadors in there. Anyway, so this Michael Antoine McMahon cat started doing this gimmick, and it made like news across like the indie scene in Michigan. He did an Undertaker parody. Instead of the Undertaker, though, he was the N-word soft A taker. And he would literally go to promotions and be like, they're like, yep, he's like, this is my name, this is how you announce me. And I remember the ring announcer's like, I'm not fucking saying it. It was a white dude. He's like, I'm not saying that.
Not gonna happen.
It was funny. He's like, no, man, just say it. He goes, I'm not saying it. He goes, I'll come out and announce it myself then, but that'll mess my gimmick up because you got to say it. It's like,
It could come up with something a little more original, like the black crayon written in Spanish taker.
no, he was like straight up, like he wore an Undertaker, like early, the all black with the tie and the purple gloves and shit.
Mhm.
Like the exact same gimmick, except he wore a do-rag, like a Scully down to the ring. And yep, it was fucking funny.
Does
I
he
was
visit
like,
Chicago often?
So, did anyone ever announce him?
yes.
Oh my god!
Wow.
And the crowd was just like, what do we
silent.
do here?
Crickets,
Yep.
crickets.
You got to do better.
After a couple shows, like down in XICW in Detroit, like that crowd was like, they loved it. They loved it. But that was back probably, I want to say 5-6 years ago, maybe a few more, but oh my God,
Wow.
dude, he was fucking hilarious.
So,
God damn it,
I
Chris
never
Fisk.
saw him in real life, but I've seen people review his character on YouTube.
Who's that?
The person you were talking about.
Oh, you know who I'm talking about then.
I do. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, see, I told you. It's fucking insane.
yeah. So McMahon introduces, and this is the first time we've heard from him since WrestleMania 12, the new WWF champion, Shawn Michaels. And Shawn, basic shit. It wasn't that memorable when you think of like Steve Austin or a lot of other people's first nights out there. Just he's been working at this for over 10 years. It was the greatest night of his life. He thanks the fans, which are his clique, for making it possible. Vince tries to move on a few times and he hushes him, says he's been waiting a long time for this. And he says, this kind of hit me because Shawn Michaels promo tonight and Bret Hart's promo next week both hit me, knowing where things are going to go. And this is what makes it cool to look back at this stuff so many years later. But, Shawn said he had always heard that Bret Hart was the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. And he's setting it up but last night I proved that wrong or whatever. But he says, last night I became a believer. And he just showered Bret Hart with praise.
Mm-hmm.
And
Golden
it was
shower
just
them?
good. A golden shower of praise. Yeah, but he, it was just really cool to see, and it's something I don't think they show enough when they look back at this time in wrestling. They always want to talk about the drama between the two, but there was a respect there before the drama.
It's just classic. It's just classic. If you beat somebody, then you're somebody. But if you beat a nobody, you're nobody.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll tell you, the one thing that did irritate me after the Shawn Michaels going over Bret Hart is listening to that audio clip over and over and over and over again. The boyhood dream comes true.
Yep.
Oh, God, I got so sick of hearing that.
Yeah, dude,
Yes.
that's the most overplayed soundbite in wrestling.
Yes.
That the boyhood dream realized. I'm just like, and then I did this. I did it as a rib though. Like when we won the tag titles, I was legit like crying. I was so happy because I'd always wanted to hold a title. I was wrestling, and I did. I was like in the middle of the ring, and I was on my knees, and I did the. Like that. I was the boys, like we're all we're like the NWO, there's like 8 of us in the ring, and they're kind of like laughing. I'm like, what? It's funny. And I made one of the guys in the stable put the belt, said, hey, you guys put our fucking belts on when they were strapping us up after the match. I was like, we're sitting there and we're flexing. I said, put the belts on us, because we kind of had a job tag team in our stable. They were, like our Horace and Stevie Ray, except they were twins. They're fucking hilarious. Yeah. Anyway.
So, next week, HBK, the old Heartbreak Kid, is going to... And this match had me in suspense. We're going to go over this in a little while. HBK will go one-on-one with the commentator, Jerry Lawler. I know, exciting. But at the next...
Was it in Memphis?
I don't know, no. It's just still out here in San Bernardino because they tape the next few episodes. So yeah, it's not even anything special. It's just he's going to be wrestling Jerry.
The one thing I've always hated about San Bernardino, all the damn vampires. Oh, I'm sorry.
Nice reference.
God damn.
So next, in your house, Shawn is going to defend his title against what used to be his best friend Diesel. So that's going to be fun to watch. Next up, we get the main event. It's The Undertaker with Paul Bearer versus Justin Hawk Bradshaw with Uncle Zeb. And Bradshaw's undefeated at this point on Raw. It's not a bad match. Bradshaw still had something to prove back then. He was probably a little more humble, trying to impress those above him.
Not only that, but he had an awfully big reputation to live up to with his father.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is he second generation?
Oh, God, was he second? I think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
No.
So.
No?
No, John Bradshaw Layfield's not a second-generation wrestler.
I didn't think so.
Pat Patterson's not his dad. Where did he get all that gay from?
He harnessed the gay.
I hated the JBL thing with him. I hated that.
I did too.
And it came out.
I hated that gimmick.
So I'm the only guy here who liked JBL.
Oh, it's fucking stupid.
I hated the
From
gimmick.
APA to JBL. Like what?
I know.
So
I never got used to it.
I thought it made good logical sense because I watched him. I watched him on, MSNBC and CNN and Fox and all that as the real life John Layfield, but he still looked like APA Bradshaw. And so when he took the full transition, cut off the hair and the beard and went full on, hey, I'm the guy on the news, I was like, well, this makes sense. Because he had already written a book saying, hey, this is how you can have more money now.
Yeah.
So once he made his wrestling gimmick fit with his real life persona, I was like, I'm with it. Now, should he have beaten Eddie Guerrero first time out? Hell no. Should he have had the longest reign in SmackDown history? Probably not. But
from what I heard, he purchased that anyway.
Well, he wouldn't have had to purchase anything. Him and Taker were longtime buddies. Like he was always good with the Bone Street crew. That's the whole reason. I guarantee that. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, he was in the backstage group because Taker was the head of the backstage. He was like the judge in wrestlers court, and I know Bradshaw and Ron Simmons were like his enforcers with a couple other guys.
Yeah, that's the whole way they got into the ministry. Like that's why the ministry existed. It was basically the on-air Bone Street crew.
Yeah, I enjoyed him better in the APA. He was just more entertaining. So my only beef is I wanted Ron Simmons to be world champion. I thought Ron Simmons could have beaten The Undertaker for the belt at King of the Ring. Should have.
He's like breaking up APA was fine. I just want Ron Simmons to be world champion.
I agree with that. I always preferred him.
So
they never gave it to him.
No.
He
Ron
was
Simmons
the first Black World Champion in WCW.
Yep.
Right, and he could have been WWF's if he'd have won the King of the Ring '97 against Taker, and it really wouldn't have been that hard to. Because again, I like rebooking the past. It wouldn't have been that hard to get the title back on Taker if they really wanted it there. Because between King of the Ring, what was next was Canadian Stampede. All they would have had to have done is have a rematch between Farouk and Taker. Whether Farouk retains or Taker wins it back, they could have put the title back on Taker at Raw if they had to. Because the reason Taker needed the title back is, again, to get back on the actual timeline. Taker needs the belt, so at SummerSlam, Heart and Soul, Shawn can hit Taker with the chair, Brett wins the belt, and then Shawn and Taker go to the first ever Hell in a Cell. But I still think that it could have worked for Ron Simmons to win the world title at King of the Ring '97. Just for the pure, like, goodness of being the first black WCW and first black WWF world champion.
Well, I thought Tony Atlas win the belt?
He was a tag champion, I think.
Yeah, him and Rocky's dad, Rocky Johnson, were the first black WWF champions in the tag division,
tag team
but not top guy. The WWF's first recognized black champion is the half black Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, which really sucks because Farouk was so over back then.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. The nation after that '97, the original nation was never as strong. That's the reason they had to break up the original nation and create the new, badder, blacker nation.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So speaking of the badder, blacker nation, the Undertaker uses the power of the urn to make a comeback against Justin Hawk Bradshaw. He gives a killer choke slam to Bradshaw in this match. Like you guys talk about the Giant, how he's driving people down in his younger days. Taker fucking choke slams Bradshaw, and like Taker's body goes too. And I mean, he fucking puts him into that mat. He sits up. He's getting ready. Fucking Uncle Zeb's out there going fucking nuts. Paul Bear's holding up the urn. Fucking perfect Undertaker ending. He fucking signals for the tombstone. And Mankind comes out. And I mean, he beats the ever-loving shit out of the Undertaker. I mean, beats him, puts him in the mandible claw. He fucking slams him onto the concrete, gets on the apron and fucking does his elbow off the apron and puts him in the mandible claw again, and security pulls Mankind off, rips him away and rips him backstage. And then here he comes rushing back out down the ramp and fucking beats Taker down some more. And I mean, they're literally dragging this maniac away, and he's on his hands and knees just crawling to get more of the Undertaker. Lays this dude the fuck out. Lays him out. Yeah. And it was exciting. It's like, man, I remember when wrestling was good like this, and that's how Raw ends with Taker. He's got a fucking loogie like halfway up his nose. I mean, just the shit beat out of him. And
What a
like,
damn debut.
yeah, like who is this guy in the leather mask?
And to give a, you know, to how crazy it is, like during his match with Bob Holly, he was literally like pulling his hair out and shit, and like fucking being all weird and stuff. So he's like going all out with the gimmick and everything.
Yep.
And the theatrics.
So this Raw scored a 2.9 and is actually the weekly winner, and it should be. It's the week after WrestleMania. Nitro scored a 2.8. Now the thing is, it seems like it shrunk because we've usually had one of the shows in the 3 area, 3.1, 3.2. We've seen it as high as like 3.6. But this week, April 1st, we stayed in the 2s. Nitro scored a 2.8 to Raw's 2.9. So we're still neck and neck, still a growing audience. It's just a little bit of a drop off this week. Nitro starts off pretty on fire too. We get the Giant and Sting in the ring before the credits even roll. And okay, I guess Jimmy Hart came out. The Giant and Sting were supposed to team up, and they're going to wrestle Harlem Heat, but Jimmy Hart came out, paid off Harlem Heat. It's presumed he paid off the Giant, but Sting and Giant just started going at it in the ring.
That was actually we got a couple dark matches before we get into that.
Oh yeah.
We have 3. We've got Alex Wright going over on the Disco Inferno.
Again,
my favorite tag team, American Males. They defeated Colonel Robert Parker and Dick Slater. I like the team. Their theme song was horrible, though. That's the worst theme music I've ever fucking heard. It was worse than Max Moon's. And the Renegade went over on Rocco Rock, one half of Public Enemy, a team who I was actually a really big fan of.
Where was Johnny Grunge?
They would come into play later in this episode, sir.
Okay, cool.
I'm like, why? It's still weird. Like, you have so many wrestlers. Why are you using half of a well-established tag team?
Yeah, they went from the tag champs to being in a dark match.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just it's a weird decision.
Yeah.
The Renegade was one of the weirdest characters ever. Like, we can't get Warrior. Let's get Dollar General Warrior.
That was it too. It's like dollar store Warrior. It's like, Mom, can we have Ultimate Warrior? It's like, no, you've got Ultimate Warrior at home. Here's Ultimate Warrior at home. It's a fucking Renegade.
Exactly.
You know?
He ordered off Wish. So
the Wish Ultimate Warrior. Somebody find out if he's on Twitter and we'll make that meme and just tag him in it.
He's dead.
Oh, never mind.
Renegade is?
Yeah.
Damn.
Wow.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Just like
Ultimate
Warrior, he followed him out.
Yeah, he saw
he went
Warrior
first.
die and was like, I can be dead too.
He did it first.
Well, Etep, don't worry, that meme could still work. Just send it to the Democratic National Party. They'll get it.
He's a registered Democrat voter now. The only things you have to stop... You don't have to pay taxes after you die, but you're required to vote Democrat for eternity.
If you want to laugh, down here there was a commercial for shutters for the hurricanes and everything, and they had a red ticker going across the fucking screen, and it goes, if you voted for Biden and you're a Democrat, do not contact us for this commercial.
Jesus.
So it's like, hurricane season's coming. You deserve to die. Don't contact us.
You would think they would get bombarded with fucking calls after that, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're literally telling people to die.
Literally.
Problematic. That's so problematic, Sony. Sony's so deaf. No, the segment so laugh. The segment with Sting was actually pretty well done.
It was.
The spot they did before Giant powdered when he was going to choke slam Sting and he was outside and Sting did that nice vertical drop kick on him because it kept Giant looking strong, you know, but and it made Sting look good too.
Yeah.
You know,
and Sting, he can be awkward sometimes. Like, he's a legend, but
Yep.
Sometimes with the important stuff, he botches it a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Except when he's wrestling Jeff Hardy high. But Jeff Hardy was high, I mean.
Yeah, you got to piss
Just
Sting
Jeff Hardy.
off, and then he's good.
Sting was like, we're fucking going home, bud. What? Just rolls him up.
Taking your ass to church.
We're
Man,
going home.
Such an anomaly. Like, a freaking child, but humongous and so skilled for as little training as he ever got. Like, he's just such a damned anomaly.
Yeah.
Dude, he was throwing drop kicks and shit. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, he was
and freaking
athletic.
humongous.
He was athletic.
Oh my goodness.
I hated what McMahon did to him.
Yeah. His debut was exciting, but then it downhill.
No, Giant.
St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
Yeah.
Yep. They made him a fucking joke after so long, though.
Yeah. They were calling him the Big Slow forever.
Which way did he go?
It's the Big Slow.
Well, it's the big slow. It's a big bad slow tonight.
And now his intro, gives a big middle finger to his old gimmick.
It's like, isn't his theme just Diesel's theme with lyrics?
I don't remember.
Like, it's this, It's not exactly, but it's like, it's not the same, but it's the same. A certain pattern there for McMahon and big guys. So, him and Sting open the show. They fucking just scrap it out in the middle of the ring and out of the ring. And after everything gets kind of squashed there, we finally go to the opening credits. Eric Bischoff greets us, kind of bags on WWF like he does every week. And I think here's where he announces, Flair will be defending the world title tonight against Lex Luger. Flair's a fighting champion.
Yep.
Like, he's defended against Giant recently. He's not afraid to defend that title on air. And I get it. They're trying to beat Raw in the ratings war here, but it's just I miss those days. You know, when you'd see a defense kind of normally and not at pay-per-views. You know.
Yeah.
So you got. I don't like it when they hot shot the title, but I like to see the champion work, I guess. So. The Steiner brothers defeat the Nasty Boys and the Road Warriors in a triangle tag match.
This match was actually like a clusterfuck at the beginning, and I've been in these matches, and I hate them. But it kind of found its rhythm like about halfway through the match, and the finish was pretty dope too. How Johnny Grunge did the knobs gimmick.
Yeah,
I dug that. I hate, and this is not like the Road Warriors didn't get as much shine as they should have in WCW because they were huge in the NWA. You know, had their run in the Fed later on, but I never liked the way they were booked.
I think a lot of it had to do with the way that Mike was so often screwed up. I don't think it necessarily the booking, or like the booking. I think had a lot to do with him being screwed up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because they talk about it in multiple documentaries about how that Mike would get high and then screw both their careers up.
Yep.
Yeah. And I've seen them botch a move or two already, and they've only been in World Championship Wrestling for a couple weeks now.
Yep.
I've seen him botch a couple moves, and for what it's worth, they'll be in WWF a year from now.
Yeah.
So,
Because
yeah.
they had Sunny.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say Sunny was with the Road Warriors, then she turned on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just glad Hawk got clean before he passed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's always
probably
sad when you see all that shit, though. I mean,
That
all the
is probably
steroid
what
abuse
gets you,
and the
though.
drugs.
Yeah, but I mean, you know that you've seen a lot of those guys that are drug addicts. Once they get clean, their bodies can't handle it. I think it was
Yeah,
so many
that-
years of
I guarantee
abuse.
that's
By the
what
time he
happened to-
cleaned himself, it was too late.
Yeah, exactly. For sure.
You gotta remember the heart is only the size of your fist, and these guys are massive. That's a whole lot of blood, traveling through the body, and then like you said, all the damage from it all that coke and everything fucking weakens the heart. All the other hardcore shit that they were doing,
Yeah.
mixing the painkillers, dude. They got like cement going through their veins.
And then
They were
the lack of sleep and everything else.
Oh yeah.
those.
and then you got to push yourself in the gym because you got to maintain your mass.
Yeah, they were always body guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh God, yeah, dude. Like I said, back NWA, they were just massive.
Constantly
they were the
jet-lagged.
the first two wrestling action figures I ever got with my ring that hangs on the wall over there were the Remco Road Warriors figures. I still have them.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, I met Animal back in Chicago during one of these conventions. And like he slimmed down a lot at that point, but he was still doing like little shows and shit. But the dude was still massive. Like, it's one thing seeing him on TV. You're like, yeah, I know these guys are kind of big, but then in person, like that guy was just fucking towering.
His brother was kind of big at one time.
Yeah, John Laurinaitis is a big fella.
Yeah.
But I met Hawk at a county fair in one of his "I'm doing drugs and not working for one of the big companies" stints.
Mm-hmm.
He was clearly not with it. I was so young I didn't understand at the time, but after I got older, I was like, clearly he wasn't like there. He was physically there, but he wasn't mentally there. I never ended up getting to meet Animal before he passed. I had a couple of opportunities, like at a comic convention or an indie show, but just it never worked out. Life got in the way.
Yeah, he was nice. I liked him.
Yeah, so it was a tag match. I could see how that would be, especially for tag team wrestlers. You're so used to it just being you and the other guy and his partner, you and your partner, and to throw two other guys in there, really, it's a completely different game in how you work the match, how just everything operates. So, yeah, I could see why it was probably a little discombobulated there at the beginning, just trying to fill it out and find the right rhythm. So, and they went for a TV match on an hour-long episode. They went like 15 minutes, so they had a lot of time to fill. So next we get Hulk Hogan and Booty Man with the Booty Babe Kimberly, and they defeat Arn Anderson and Kevin Sullivan with Miss Elizabeth and Woman. What did you think of this match, Etep?
Kevin Sullivan and Hulk Hogan, like you said earlier, they look like a gay tag team. They're dressed the same. Kevin Sullivan's like a little shorter, like stockier version of Hulk Hogan. It's like if you did the movie Twins with Kevin Sullivan and Hulk Hogan, this was it.
Okay, my thing is, I'd say who approved Hogan and Sullivan to both be in the ring in yellow trunks and both have that whitish blonde hair, because I thought Sullivan was Hogan at first when they were panning out in the distance, and I'm like, then Hulk Hogan's music hit, and I'm like, like who's that in the ring then? And I had to take a second to realize it's Kevin Sullivan. But I'd ask who allowed them to do that, because it did. It looked like Hulk Hogan and Fat Hulk Hogan. But it's Kevin Sullivan. He's the booker. He's the one that approved that. So it wasn't very, it didn't look great on TV. Two guys in just sunshine yellow trunks with bright blonde hair. They looked like they were some kind of fucktarded tag team. So But instead they were wrestling each other. And then Hogan and Booty Man cut a promo after this too. Mean Gene came in. It's just your average Hulk Hogan promo.
Yep.
So nothing really special. Next we get the World Championship, the World Heavyweight Championship, and the main event of the evening. It's Ric Flair with Miss Elizabeth and Woman, and he defeats Lex Luger to retain the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. This so you could tell they were trying to outdo Raw the night after WrestleMania, but I honestly think Raw had the better show. They just kind of had all the momentum coming out of WrestleMania. So, and I think that's a rarity because they win more often in the ratings than I actually think WWF did a better job at this time. But they had WCW's number tonight, and maybe it's because they were both live. But yeah, good episode on their part. WCW, it was a decent episode. It just didn't really stand out. So, yeah. Next, I want to show you guys this tweet that I saw earlier. We were talking about Bret Hart a little while ago, and this is Kevin Nash actually talking about Bret Hart and defending him, because he does take a lot of shit from some of the fans. It's almost like you either love or hate Bret Hart, when he doesn't seem like he would be very controversial, but so yeah, everything's moving a little slow on my PC, so just bear with me.
For the world, but I think the problem they have with Bret is Bret's in unwillingness to play ball.
Okay, there we go.
I don't understand how people have a problem with Bret Hart.
I think the problem. Well, I don't know. I'm not a spokesman for the world, but I think the problem they have with Bret is Bret's in unwillingness to play ball sometimes.
But people never take in the fact that his socialization process was his dad was Stu. I mean, it's, you know what I mean? They don't take it. You how many guys in the business had an actual dungeon at their fucking house that people screamed out of? I think that you got to give the guy a little fucking leeway. You know, I don't understand.
So,
I'm glad he said that.
That's probably, like a big reason why he can't cut a promo.
No, it's so hard for me to take anything Kevin Nash says seriously anymore, because I've seen him a few years back, like, defending like the SJW mentality type bullshit. Yeah. I couldn't take him seriously anymore. I was like, this fucking guy.
Well, he did it for the paycheck. Are you kidding me? How many movies has this guy been in already? You know, and he was starting to get a lot more traction with that stupid fucking stripper movie, whatever the hell it was.
Magic Mike. Magic Mike?
Yeah.
Yep. So, he talks about that movie in that same shoot. How he was training hard to, and how that he ran into Jericho, and Jericho's like, "Hey, let's get drunk," and he's because whatever they were drinking didn't have calories, and it's a decent shoot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I've met him too. I thought he was nice, and like I said, he's got some of my artwork, so I'm not going to shit on him. But if he's defending SJW crap just for that paycheck, he is a whore.
Yeah, I heard him. In 2016, during the election, he was railing on Trump pretty hard, and we cannot let this guy get elected.
Wow.
So, yeah, I get that. Like, I thought it was. I was expecting him when I first saw the video to be saying something bad about Bret Hart, but it's rare. So Kevin Nash.
If you watch the whole thing, he talks about how some of his best matches with Bret, he was like, they probably were like B matches for Bret, but they're like AAA matches for him, like the best he's ever had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's just, it's true. It's rare he thinks outside of himself or maybe his close friends like Scott Hall or something like.
Oh, yeah.
So to see him kind of, extend that olive branch because they were kind of like their
Nash is aware that he's a tall, good-looking dude, and he's not a wrestler. He's well aware of that in the shoot. He's like, I'm not a technician. I'm just a guy who can, stand in a room and people look at me. He's like, he understood, and he knew that Brett gave him probably most of his best matches.
Oh yeah, and Brett knew he knew what he was doing, and if it was a small guy or a big guy he was going against, he never hurt anyone, not on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were just politically.
That's why the Goldberg incident's so damn frustrating.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yep.
That fucking Goldberg. I never liked that motherfucker. And when I saw him hurting guys left and right, because my cousin was super into it, and he'd find out the backs, behind the scenes shit before they were really getting it out there. And the internet was still starting to just explode a little bit. And he was finding out all this shit. He said, "Do you know who he hurt this time? Holy fuck, this one guy, he almost fucking killed him." And I'm like, "What? What the hell happened?" Yeah, that night when he speared that one dude. I'm like, okay.
Well, he was completely untrained too. I mean, they sent him to the powerhouse for what? A few short months, if even.
Yeah.
And then they rolled him right out, and they did it just because of his look. I mean, he was found by was it Nash and Hall that found him in a bar bouncing somewhere?
Nash says that he was Nash said him and Goldberg were friends back when Goldberg was still playing in the NFL, back when he had the big long or the big puffy hair. So Nash found him basically at a bar. They were just friends.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So
fucking horrible.
Yeah, I was never a big Goldberg fan, and
I liked Goldberg as a kid just because,
Yeah.
Well, it makes
It was
sense
hard not to get caught up in the hype.
Yeah.
Especially for kids too at that time.
Yep.
I could understand it, but I was already a little bit older, so I'm like, this guy's just he's a menace.
But when I watched at that Unforgiven, that match between him and Triple H was just terrible.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That was as
So
bad as the
bad.
Triple H and Steiner match.
Yep.
Well, see, when I was growing up during that time, watching a lot of the '80s wrestlers, I was comparing them to some of the wrestlers that came before. Some, people like Bob Backlund and people like that were already well established, people that actually could do wrestling moves. So a lot of what they were doing was just like flashy glitz and no real wrestling involved. So
Yeah.
it was so rare to actually
Why I
see
hate
somebody who
Lesnar.
could legitimately wrestle.
My biggest problem with Goldberg is that he acts like the business owes him something. Like he actually brought something great to the business.
Yeah.
When he's actually harmed the business, if anything.
Yeah.
So,
careers.
Yep.
Well, I mean, we talked about it before. He basically tried to do that comeback thing just so he could oppress his son.
Mm-hmm.
Vanity projects.
Yeah.
Well, I find it strange that Brian Clark was on the same winning streak as Bill Goldberg, not to the same numerical level, but Goldberg's numerical level was make believe anyway. And so they decided, hey, let's have Nash and Brian Clark's winning streak right before we have Nash do the same thing. I mean, I guess maybe it's because Nash was the booker. I don't know, but whoever booked the decision, I thought was weird that you have two big guys with undefeated streaks and you have Nash and both of them within the span of at least 7 days, maybe 14 max, but near no time.
Yeah.
I freaking loved Clark and Adams as Chronic.
Yeah.
Same here. I thought both those guys could have been a bigger deal.
Yep.
Yeah, it
They
was one of
came
the
in
bright spots
Tony.
of that era in WCW.
Yep.
That's all. Yeah, they're just a bright spot. So, let's jump into this next episode of Raw. There aren't any dark matches, right? Because it's taped. We're moving on to the tape.
No, sir. No dark matches.
All right. So, okay, we start with Vince McMahon and Mr. Perfect on commentary as Jerry Lawler's getting ready for his match with the WWF champion Shawn Michaels. And the opening bout is Yokozuna versus Vader, which ends with Yeah, Vader, I mean, kicking Yokozuna's ass. He supposedly breaks Yokozuna's leg with repeated Vader bombs, and he would drape Yokozuna's leg across the bottom rope and just Vader bomb it over and over again, and Yokozuna's screaming out in pain. So the funny part is, here come the EMTs. Yokozuna's, for those who don't know, is a pretty big guy.
You don't say.
Yeah.
And they brought out this little
Forklift.
gurney that wouldn't fit his ass cheek on it.
It could have been worse. They could have brought out the stretcher board first and tried to get him out.
Yeah. So they go to commercial, and I think this we were talking last week with the Kevin Nash and the casket, and then Kevin Nash opens it, and there he is, and the benefits of having a produced pre-taped wrestling show. They go to commercial, and what looks like it would take longer than like a 3-minute commercial break, they come back, and there's a forklift out there now lifting Yokozuna up to bring him into the back.
And that's believable.
Yeah, that's believable. But it just like you had that feeling like it's been longer than 3 minutes, this is like 15 minutes later, 10 minutes later. So yeah, they take his ass to the back in a forklift. Vince McMahon gets in the ring, and he brings out the Ultimate Warrior, who, he said he had to go away to a place where all men were entitled to, which is deep inside the mind, and find himself. And now he feels great. He's back. And yeah, Vince wants to know how he'll fare against the new generation. As he's saying this, Goldust and Merlina comes out.
He wants to be play superhero with the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah. So, Goldust gets gay with Warrior. Warrior doesn't give a shit what Goldust is into, and says if Goldust wants a full-length action film, it would include Warrior kicking Goldberg's ass from beginning to end. Then Warrior clotheslines Goldust, whoops his ass. I guess they're going to wrestle this next month's In Your House. And I thought Warrior just returned for WrestleMania.
And the most exciting thing about that entire skit was Marlena sucking down a cigar.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Always hot.
Warrior.
Yes.
Warrior promos aren't very good. Like, that's why I'm like looking through my notes here.
They never were.
Here, I can encapsulate it. There you go.
Yeah. It's like a Hogan promo. It's like there's just not much substance there.
What are you talking about, brother? You better watch what you say about my promos, brother.
It's just some more Goldust gay bashing. That's basically all it is.
Basically, yeah. Man, it was a different time because Lawler calls Savio Vega burrito breath. I'm like, holy shit.
I can't. I never really liked Savio Vega.
Do tell.
I was not a Savio Vega fan. I just wasn't.
Boricua. Me neither.
The Boricua brothers. Was it like a stable they had?
Yeah.
Los Boricuas.
Los Boricuas, that's right.
So I gotta say, Duke the Dumpster Drosy, he wrestles next against Triple H, and of course Hunter Hearst Helmsley beats him. But he's
barely.
Yeah, he's better than what dude had some charisma, and he could go in the ring. He could put on an exciting match. And it felt like he could have very believably won this match against Hunter Hearst Helmsley. It's kind of sad.
Is a guy I can't believe they haven't brought back. Now that we're such a damn joke.
Hold on, who was?
Duke the Dumpster Drosy. I can't believe they've ever brought him back since WWE's a joke.
I know it, but I mean, it feels like they could have pushed him a little more serious, you know, like he
Well,
wasn't.
I'm just saying, right now they've got a bunch of that standard of gimmick right now with the mobster. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Tony D'Angelo paid off Duke the Dumpster Drozy to, you know, make some guys swim with the fishes or some such type thing. So yeah, I wouldn't be shocked at all if he made a comeback.
Yeah. No, fucking, he was pretty good. I mean, he was slamming Triple H's ass all over the ring, and the fans were behind him. They were. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he was pretty popular for, you know, the level he got to.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they could have, like, if they could have transitioned him out of that gimmick, but kept some of the mannerisms from it, some of the aspects of that gimmick, and kind of transferred him over to something more serious, he could have done something. He may not have been a WWF champion, but
yeah, I could see him being like a modern day Hacksaw, you know, the happy-go-lucky baby face, big, you know, goof, if you will. Yeah, I could have seen them going that route.
I was thinking he would have fit into the Attitude Era pretty good. Definitely think so. So yeah, meanwhile backstage, like Vader kicks the shit out of Yokozuna again, and they're trying to get him into an ambulance. Then we go to Ahmed. This is Etep's favorite part. This is what he watched both episodes for. It's Ahmed Johnson versus Davey Boy Smith in an arm wrestling match.
Diana's his favorite match.
Do they
Little excitement on that face.
Does Diana Smith and Davey Boy not have fucking kids? Why are you at every Raw? You're the only wife to show up at every Raw.
She's that wife. She's making sure he's not out getting the fucking rats.
Yeah, it's the only reason why British Bulldogs are not the only one that didn't get to fuck Sonny.
Stayed home for hold on, maybe he did, and that's why she was there all the time.
I didn't get me title shot or to fucking knock Sonny's poon out.
Or maybe she was into that.
Maybe that was the title shot.
He was there to watch.
Yeah, or participate.
Maybe, she's at every fucking show. Like, you're only supposed to show up when he wrestles Bret Hart.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So,
and he's all coked out.
Where's my title shot?
I want me title shot.
Want me title shot?
Where's me fucking title shot?
Well, you know what? Quite honestly, if the WWF, WWE didn't focus so much on the crowd, we would have never known she was there for every single one.
Yeah, so they come out. Owen complains about Ahmed Johnson having body oil on.
Yeah.
He tells him to wash it off. So he, like, rubs his hands on the back of the referee's shirt. Kind of weird. And the oil would still be there. Especially knowing what referee shirts are made of. It was weird. So Owen keeps bitching about little things, so the referee kicks him out. And then they can lock up in peace. They go back and forth until Ahmed finally puts Davey's arm on the table, and that's it. Got cucked in front of his wife.
Then Davey Boy beats the shit out of him in a steroid rage.
Yeah.
Road rage.
Where's me shot? Where's me shot?
You took me title shot, you greasy bastard.
Davey, this wasn't for the title. You need help.
Why isn't there a title? Where's me Tren?
You're so mad that your heart's beating off rhythm.
So, what year did he go? I always forget.
It was
what was that?
Like 2000.
02.
Yeah.
02. Wow.
Yeah, because it was the second episode of WWE Confidential that covered his death. And that show started in 02. Pretty
Did
sure.
it cover all of his title shots?
Yeah, 02.
So next up is the main event, WWF champion Shawn Michaels in a non-title match against the commentator, Jerry Lawler. Diesel's on commentary, and him and Mr. Perfect are going back and forth throughout the match. He talks about his match with Shawn Michaels at the pay-per-view and how they used to be friends, but now he just wants to take what makes Shawn happy. He doesn't even care that much about being champion. He's held the title before, but he knows it means the world to HBK, and he wants to take his world from him. And Vince is like, well, why would you do that to Shawn Michaels? And Diesel's like, I'm just that kind of guy, Vince. And it's real cool, real Diesel-like. So,
yep.
Yeah, they're going at it back and forth, and once Shawn, is it after he sweet chins music? Because obviously Lawler's not going over on the champion. Yeah, he sweet chins music's Lawler. He pins him. Diesel shows up in the ring for a physical confrontation. While Diesel's doing that, Mr. Perfect gets up from commentary. He kind of goes around the ring and causes a distraction. Shawn goes to hit Mr. Perfect, and Diesel whacks Shawn with the... Oh, that's what happens. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Mr. Perfect gets the
throws
belt.
the title, over to Diesel. Diesel whacks Shawn with the WWF Championship and throws it on him. Like, those things are supposed to be heavy, right? And he just fucking lets it free fall onto Shawn's stomach and chest. Like, didn't look like it felt good. And that's basically how Raw ends. Oh, no. Sorry. We go out of the arena at that point, and then we get the Bret Hart package, and he's in Germany performing, and this is the first time we've heard from him since WrestleMania 12. And I talked about this last week, Vinny. The Iron Man match, now that I'm watching it more critically, I have a problem with it. And I was making this point last week, and Bret makes this point this week. I just go a little further into it. It's Bret's job to defend the championship, but it's the challenger's job to actually defeat the champion. And for an hour, Shawn Michaels couldn't score one pinfall on Bret Hart. And not only that, but the match, the last 30, 40 seconds of the match is Shawn Michaels in a sharpshooter with nowhere to go, just dead in the center of the ring, and the only thing that saved him was that time expiring. So to me, the only thing that saved him was the time limit expiring. So to me,
gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. Bret defended the title. If you couldn't score one pinfall on the champion in an hour, that's the end of the match. And I know they've, I've known for years, they go into sudden death overtime, but I'm just watching it like that. It makes no sense that they would call for overtime. And Bret makes that point this week, and he's like, it wasn't a 60-minute Iron Man match. It was a 62 or 63-minute Iron Man match. And I don't know. It just, I've seen that match before. It's a classic. I guess maybe it's watching all the Raws leading up to it.
Yeah.
That made me think
bad taste.
Yeah, like it's weird that they would book it that way,
Well, it makes sense to the concept of Bret being a justifiable or getting a justifiable rematch, because I beat you by you not beating me. And then, it wasn't what I signed up for to get this extra 5 minutes or whatever it turned out to be. And so I'm sure that it was done.
Weak.
Oh, I understand, but
it makes
I'm
Bret
sure that
look dumb.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, they never gave a good, or at least in my view. They never gave a good justification as to what the overtime's purpose was, other than, hey, we want Shawn to be champion.
But they should have just had Shawn, like, in the last, like, 30 seconds beat Brett and get, like, the one and only pinfall, you know? Because Brett's going to get a rematch anyway. You know, or he should have gotten a rematch anyway. It just it made their new champion a new face look weak going into his title reign.
Was it further proof though that fucking Michaels was problematic? 'Cause that's what it sounded like.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know? According to what I hear, Patterson's the one who booked the finish.
Patterson he's fucking ruined wrestling for the longest time, and not just the wrestlers.
I mean, why has that guy not been on Dark Side of the Ring? Like you talk about things that deserve an episode. He needs his own damn season.
Yeah, right. How many fucking people he screwed over and then screwed and then?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a double entendre.
Holy shit!
Yeah, he's like a gay Harvey Weinstein.
Who was the other old? the other asswipe that was always with them.
Gerald Briscoe.
Briscoe.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, Mr. McMahon. Jerry Briscoe.
Holy shit.
The famous Briscoe brothers, Jack and Jerry.
To end the Raw, this is what kind of trips me out. This puts it on maybe not the same level, but you know, like Ultimate Warrior basically eulogizes himself. Like when he does give a good promo, he dies the next day type shit, right?
Yeah.
Brett, and this is for storyline purposes, but like how true does it ring? And you don't see this very often, I guess, in wrestling, like reality reflect the storyline so much, but Brett says, I felt betrayed by WWF, you know, when I lost the title before. And now this time I feel even more betrayed. He's like, it's like every time I lose this title, I feel even more betrayed by the WWF. And if I'm not mistaken, his next title run ends with the Montreal Screwjob. And it's just, you know, he's obviously saying this he knew the plan was to go into WrestleMania, drop the title to Shawn, you know. It's just weird how that reflects reality so much.
I might, and this might not be the right time, but I have a question.
Yeah.
Does anybody think the Montreal Screwjob was a work?
Could be.
I'm starting to lean on it was more of a work than it was an actual shoot now.
The thing that the WCW being shot, you shooting WCW does not happen by accident. You don't have a multi-million-dollar corporation that puts out things on TV by accident.
Yep.
And so letting Brett write WCW in the air and spit on Vince makes me think, yeah, zoom in on that loogie. Yeah. Are you telling me Vince didn't know this was coming?
I think him doing that was just the big fuck you to him. I've read his book too, and just I've seen a lot of shit on it, the documentaries, all that crap. I think they let him do it for the drama's sake. Just let him get out all of his grievances, because that's what it sounded like, and how it happened too in the back room, and the fucking punch and all that shit. Like,
yep.
You know, it was Taker going, you know what, you have to give this to him. In the ring wasn't enough, letting him break all the shit that he did, and you know, after the fact, because you need to be a fucking man and take this shot from him. So,
I mean,
no,
Nash even says in that shoot, Nash says in that shoot that Tony was playing earlier that Vince wouldn't even sell for the government, but he sells for Brett. And even
fuck the government.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, like
right.
he's wearing a neck brace when the government's saying, "Oh, you're the big bad villain," and Vince is playing babyface, right? But I don't know. There's just, like I said, the letting him spell WCW. It doesn't seem to me to make sense if Vince isn't in on it or the company's not in on it.
No, he wanted to get away from him. He didn't want anyone to go near fucking Brett while he was in the ring.
Yeah,
they just
it was
let him have it.
chaos.
Let him fucking spaz out because that's what he was doing. It was very quick, and you wanted to see.
But think about now though. But now, so they cut away when the fans are booing Roman Reigns. Obviously not today now, but like in the year that Roman goes over Triple H at Mania, the fans are booing the babyface, so they cut away. Yet they don't cut away when the heel is turning on the company. Is the part that's the big question in my mind.
But Vince was kind of in like gorilla position for Roman Reigns, and like that's more of a controlled, like they all knew going in, this is what's going to happen. Reigns is going to win the title. He's been getting booed, so if they do just cut away,
I'd say
nobody knew what was going on then. Like supposedly only a few people knew about it.
Exactly.
But like, what are you supposed to cut to? There's nothing.
That was it. That was
the champion.
Fucking, yeah,
Shawn Michaels. He's got the belt.
Yep.
No, he ran the fuck out of there.
He's still got the belt. You can show him if you want.
He did get the belt, but he ran the fuck out. All eyes were still on Brett because of what his reaction. He broke all the little portal camera things that they had there.
Maybe in Vince's mind, who felt like he didn't do anything, he felt like he was the good guy. Like, I'm defending my company. Maybe he wanted to show Brett, and in his mind, people would see that and think, well, Brett's being immature or something.
Exactly. Well, that definitely is how Bruce Pritchard sells it. That's how Bruce Pritchard sells it, is that Vince always saw himself as the babyface in the story.
Well, McMahon's a scumbag, and he's a manipulator. And I think exactly what Tony said. He wanted to show, oh, look, see, Brett isn't a classy guy. Look, he is a fucking baby and a spoiled loser. That's what he wanted to do. Because, he knew if he was going to take the belt, and he would have gone over to WCW, and that wasn't going to happen. So, fucking have him lose on, the sharpshooter will really fuck him over and piss him off even further. And, he got the reaction he wanted. That's why he took the shot.
And
As he said, I'll fucking kill you. Get the hell out of here.
Look how he talks about Ted Turner going after Vince and trying to put WWF out of business when he did the same exact thing to all these territories throughout the country. And Vince will talk about that like he didn't do the same fucking thing to countless other people. He'll talk about himself like, we're just a business trying to survive, and here comes this.
Oh, we're a mom and pop shop. Yeah, that's the way he plays it out. It's a family business. My daddy and his daddy before him.
Yeah, and all the wrestlers that they fucking helped kill, please.
Yeah.
McMahon's such a piece of shit.
Yeah. So it's like he does view himself as the baby face. And, a lot of
I guess that's as good a justification as I've ever heard. Is it's just his perception is what paints the picture differently, whereas my perception wasn't that he was the good guy, and that it only made it look like it was a part of the show because it was a part of the show.
Yeah. No, he's just a small business owner trying to save his company.
And in no way friends with the Clintons. In no way.
Linda was the head of the SBA, the Small Business Administration for Trump.
Please, their hands have been so dirty in so many fucking things.
Yeah.
Husband and wife.
Yeah. Linda's the mastermind. She's got some cold fucking eyes. Just ice blue. So, Raw went unopposed this week, and they actually scored a monster rating. Like, I think 3.6, 3.7 is the highest we've seen. But a lot of Nitro's audience went over to Raw this week because unopposed, they scored a 4.7. Which I believe is the highest we've seen. Definitely the first in the fours we've seen. So, Raw scored a lot. a lot of people tuned in to see HBK versus Lawler, which kind of sucks. Like, you should have put on a better main event than that. You know, if the Undertaker Mankind thing would have happened this week, that probably would have hooked a lot of Nitro fans in. Instead, they probably watched HBK versus the commentator and thought, I can't wait for Nitro to come back next week.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That Undertaker Mankind thing was fucking compelling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. So, does anyone have anything else?
Isn't King of the Ring coming up here pretty soon?
Yes. We're actually in the last 2 months for Diesel and Razor Ramon's WWF stints. I just remember because isn't like Triple H supposed to win that? But then he gets in trouble for the Madison Square Garden event, and Steve Austin wins that.
And then some little unknown guy wins that trophy.
Yeah.
Then ends up doing nothing, I guess.
Yeah.
He didn't really do much anything.
King Mabel.
Awful. One of the
King
worst
Mabel.
wrestlers.
You got your Psalms and your John 3:16. Well, Austin 3:16 says, I'll just whip your ass. That's the fucking...
Well, then I'll go smoke some crack.
Jake Roberts is like, well, I'll turn my back on my family. And at least he didn't go all Grizzly Smith like his dad. I mean...
You know what? It's ridiculous. As ridiculous as King Booker came across, at least it was something. Unlike a lot of these other guys that have won it afterwards, like what's his name, the Lone Wolf, that guy. Oh, what a waste
Baron
of
Corbin.
I hate. How
he showed such promise. He showed such promise early on when he was still in NXT, and the minute they brought him over, it was just a waste.
Like a dead fish.
Yep.
Like everybody they bring over from NXT.
Yeah, they did ruin him when they bring him up to the.
Like Finn Balor, they screwed over too.
Well, look what they did to people that were already serviceably good, decent wrestlers like Bobby Roode and all those other ones they brought up. Those people were good enough that they should have been able to do something in the main roster, and they just wasted all that potential.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it's also because like they have certain guys in position that never got their shot, and they were promising them other fucking things, and you got to keep their favorite staple happy.
I'll tell you what, though, when you look at some of the people that originally had the opportunity to wrestle with them, and they started off in NXT, and they turned around and said, "Nah, you know what? I'm going to go back to TNA." Like the Cowboy James Storm, he made the right move because they would have buried his ass.
Yeah.
He would have been absolutely worthless.
You know it.
Either one of those rosters.
You can see the politics. You can see it's the same everywhere. They don't want new fucking blood. They pretend like they do.
Yeah.
Like, if you put your bones in, maybe later on. Nah, they just want to fucking abuse them.
Yep. If the talent wasn't raised and groomed in that promotion, then they're never going to get the same treatment as the homegrown guys. You know.
Exactly.
Well, I hate to disagree, but
business is the same way. I'm sorry.
There's exceptions. Absolutely.
I was about to say it. Now it's nearly impossible, but then, as I said, Mankind was Cactus Jack. Undertaker was Mean Mark Callis. Mark Marrow was Johnny B. Bad. Like there are so many examples.
Kevin Nash
Triple H was
Oz.
Exactly. Triple H was John Paul Levesque. Exactly, Vinny Vegas.
Yep.
So there were so many examples back in that time when Vince was trying to win and depending on which narrative you believe, win or survive, but still win no matter what. It didn't matter if you were homegrown. It mattered if you were capable. And so many people were capable. Stunning Steve became Ringmaster, who became Stone Cold, and the list goes on. But now, because Vince doesn't feel that same pressure, because how can you feel pressure when networks are paying you $1 billion for bullshit ratings and terrible product?
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Yeah.
No. Well, I thought that's what the argument was. It's everyone now in these fucking NXT things are not giving the chance.
Vince
back in the day was different. Like you didn't have to be homegrown. Yeah, is all. That's all.
Vince isn't even the president anymore.
Yeah, Nick Khan.
Nick Khan is the president now. So the company, I don't know what's going on. But Nick Khan
Who the
is like
fuck Nick
firing.
Khan?
He's the new president, and he's firing. That's why they had all these releases, because he's in control of all that.
So many releases they couldn't even have a women's Royal Rumble. You know, they only had 21 active women on the main roster. They had to bring back women they fired to even have the Royal Rumble match.
Yeah, because what's her name? Mickey James came back to do the Royal Rumble, and she's like the TNA Women's Champion right now.
Exactly, and they made it in the agreement that you have to acknowledge our company if you want our champion. And so they did on Friday night. They're like, okay, Impact, who cares? Just give us bodies.
Which is weird because AEW does shit with Impact like all the time.
Well, their relationship ended in late October.
Oh, okay.
When Christian dropped the Impact World title to Josh Alexander. So I think that they saw this coming. Impact, that is, I mean.
I hate Impact Wrestling.
I haven't watched it. I haven't watched any wrestling.
I forget it
so
exists.
freaking long.
You know what? I liked it early on when they still had a lot of the older wrestlers. When they still had Raven before he became I mean, toward the end he became a bloated in the end, you know, because of that disease he has. But still, I mean, there was nothing he could do about that. But when they still had people like that, there, people that actually still cared about the business. When they had, you know, the Monster Abyss at the height of his popularity in that company, they were doing really well.
Yeah,
he was so cool. I met him and hung out with him at a show in Detroit, and I smoked a joint with him. You know, super fucking cool guy. Like, I was like, we had just come in from burning one, and he's like, "That smells good." He goes, "You got any more of that?" I'm like, "Yep." I'm like, "Hey," and he already had his gimmick on. I'm like, "Can I snap a picture with you real quick if you're gonna smoke my weed?" He goes, "Well, yeah." So he fucking snapped a selfie with him. But yeah, he was cool as hell. He's like outside the venue, like smoking weed with his fucking mask on and shit. It was fucking funny.
That's hilarious.
But he's a really like cool, laid back, like super chill guy. You know, the exact opposite of that piece of shit Sabu.
It always goes back to him.
It all goes back to Sabu.
Etep has got the hate boner for Sabu.
I hate Sabu so much. I hate him. I hate him.
Impact got rid of the didn't they have like the octagon
6-sided ring?
Yeah. Once they got rid of that and went back to the normal thing, I think that's when everything went kind of downhill because Hogan and all them kind of started you know, doing their WCW bullshit again.
Yeah.
See, it was. Remember, they got a spot on Monday nights. They tried to go head up with the Fed at one point.
That was all like, Hogan and Bischoff.
Oh, yep, absolutely.
That was what January the 8th of 2011, I think.
Yeah,
wasn't that when they went live? That was Jeff Hardy's return to TNA and Bret Hart's return to the WWF.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, they had so early on. They had a lot of good stuff. Like even towards the middle of the run, when they came up with the Aces and Eights, that was like a halfway decent storyline. I wouldn't say it was the best. It definitely is a reminiscent of like the NWO and everything like that. But I thought it was decent enough with some of the things that they were doing.
It was a Bischoff Creations why that it felt NWO like.
Yeah, I mean, it was still interesting in the way that they executed it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I wasn't knocking it. I was just saying that's why it felt familiar, is because they had the same daddy.
I liked. I always liked the main event Mafia. I did. I liked that.
The only problem with the Mafia is they never put anybody over except each other.
Yep. It was like the NWO.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it would have been great if they would have just picked one homegrown talent, whether it be Joe or Styles or whoever, and said, all right, this is the guy we're going to make. But no, they just put each other over, which was, you know.
Yep.
I did like the Insane Icon with Sting. I liked that, like just watching back. And then the Machismo, like the thing with Ric Flair and him.
Oh.
Jay Lethal.
Yeah, dude. Jay Lethal's awesome.
Man, I feel bad for Jay Lethal. Machismo. I feel so bad for Jay Lethal. He's tagging up with Sonny Kiss on AEW Dark tonight. And it's like, how did this guy go from being Ring of Honor top guy to AEW Dark match stuck in a tag team with a nowhere gimmick?
Jeez.
Yeah. Well, there's another guy that TNA had, Christopher Daniels. What the hell ever happened to him?
He's a backstage producer in AEW. He's basically the guy getting the next generation ready.
No, okay.
I was gonna say he's been retired for a few, hasn't he?
Only about a year. Him and Kazarian lost a loser doesn't wrestle again match, and Daniels lost because he was just basically wanting that backstage grooming role or whatever.
Word that definitely.
I knew that I messed up when I said that, but the backstage role of not Pat Patterson.
the antithesis of Pat Patterson.
Exactly.
I'm gonna show you how to do it correctly. Get on your knees, boy. No, nothing. Etep, nothing.
Sorry.
I'm sick, man. I'm off my game tonight.
What's many of those Pat Patterson milkshakes?
That's one milkshake that's not bringing any of the boys to the yard.
Patterson's protein shakes. Like,
Oh my God.
Come on down and get a Patterson's protein shake. I'll feed it to you myself.
I'll put a side of my barbecue sauce with it.
Was it Oklahoma? Come on down, get some barbecue sauce. Shit. Look at the side of my face. I'm making fun of Jim Ross. Fucking Ed Ferrara. Fucking Ed Ferrara.
That's great.
Yeah, right, baby gravy. I know, Chris.
All right. Oh, you want me to say I'll do it in the Jim Ross? Come on down, get some baby gravy. A good old JR stroke-faced baby gravy. Come on down, get it, boys. Come on.
Biscuits and baby gravy.
Biscuits and
good.
Do you remember that tag team, Jesse and Fetus? Oh, Festus.
Yeah.
Fetus.
Jesse and Fetus.
I can't believe that Jesse never got bigger. He was Terry Bam Bam Gordy's son.
Yes.
Oh wow!
But fucking Festus would go on its fucking Gallows. It's Luke Gallows, which is funny.
Did a lot better than, well, he started off going with a CM Punk at first. He was part of that, that Shave Your Head Club or whatever the hell it was. Yeah.
Well, Punk's the one who named him Luke after the biblical character, Luke, Luke, John. There's another one of those early New Testaments, but anyway, that's how Festus got the name Luke, is from because Punk was trying to be the savior gimmick.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
But their theme song when they were Jesse and Festus was Biscuits and Gravy. That was their theme song. Biscuits and baby gravy made me a man. Pat Patterson put that shit right in my hand.
Oh my. I agree with this.
I would like to reiterate this, that his comments are not pig approved.
No.
Got some biscuits and gravy. Mm-hmm.
I'll take some of them biscuits with mustard on them and french fried taters. Mm-hmm. I reckon that'd be mighty fine.
Sweet baby Jesus.
Yeah. Y'all got any biscuits with mustard on them back there?
Goddamn.
Only imagine Jamie Dundee and Jim Ross in a shouting match.
Fuck! Oh no, they got in an argument over the cab. That's what Jamie was telling me the one night. Because of the cab, they got in there, and Jamie and Wolfie got in, and Jamie's got like a bag of fucking joints that fell out, and JR's like, "You gonna smoke all them joints?" Jamie,
fuck you, happy face. Yeah, I'm gonna smoke all that weed, motherfucker. What do you fucking think?
I'm down, hillbilly.
Happy face.
He called. That's what. Every time we would book Jamie for a show, and he would come in, we would get him drunk just to listen to him bitch about Jim Ross, and I get him. I wish camera phones weren't. We're talking in like what 07. I didn't have a camera phone then,
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't record video on it anyway, and I wish I could have got Jamie in the fucking hotel room drunk, calling Jim Ross happy face. Holy fucking shit!
Wow.
Oh,
Jamie was insane.
Super fan. Yeah, that was back when he was Johnny Polo.
Johnny Polo. He managed Adam Bomb.
Dude, 07 takes me back. I was in Iraq in 07.
Tip of the cap to you, sir.
I've hated wrestling since 2002, 2003.
Yeah, same. After the invasion, I was done.
You know, I followed it. I watched it still because, like, my old YouTube channel, I used to talk about wrestling on it. I did. I still followed it. And, you know, I got into the business and I kind of started to follow it again. Like, I tried to watch the live, you know, Monday night and shit. And I did for a little while. And then it was just like, so I would just watch What Culture back when What Culture was funny, like 2015 through like 2017 with Simon and Adam Blampede and King Ross. The WTF moments.
Cultaholic now.
Yeah, see, I don't. I watch Wrestling with Regret. I fucking love Brian Zane.
You know, I was watching it. I was watching a little bit.
He's in the business too, so I respect him.
And I think the only reason I would partially keep up on some of it is I had the WWE subscription, and I got it. Yeah. I got it actually before it even came out. Like, they were offering people that were signed up to the WWE mailing list or whatever. They offered them like a special like intro fee or whatever. And I got it early on. And once I got it early on, my price was never going to change throughout the entire run. But like towards the last like 3 years before they switched over to the Peacock, I kept saying every month, I said, I'm getting ready to cancel this shit. I don't even watch it anymore. I was so sick of it. I'd given up watching the regular, you know, Monday night stuff and everything. And I was like, when they finally switched to Peacock, I was like, yeah, hoorah.
The way I looked at the network was, as long as I watch one thing a month, no matter what it is, it could be a documentary or an old match or whatever, my investment in it is worth it, because I have a massive DVD collection. So I would spend more on DVDs a month than I did on the network. So long as I watched one thing, I was like, it's not a waste of money in the end.
Well, you know what? It was really good at first when they were giving you all those original shows and everything like that. But then they started slowly but surely cutting every last one of them off. And they were just giving you like trash.
Well, the thing that I want that,
show at first.
Yeah.
The thing that I want that I never got was the old Universal WCW shows. Like I grew up loving those with the spinning platform that the ring was on, and you'd get that the water tower with the Mickey Mouse ears. I was like, man, I grew up loving that thing. Now going back to look at it, I'm sure it was shit wrestling because it was a bunch of job matches, but whatever. I didn't know at the time, so I enjoyed it.
No, yeah, you're right, Superfan. Yeah, $9.99 a month. I forgot that they kept saying that every damn show too. $9.99 a month. Yeah. The one thing I really did like when they first brought that out too is they were talking about the Legends, you know, the Legends house, and they were doing stuff like that. And that was the thing that actually got me to subscribe to that network in the first place before it even came out. I was like, oh, that looks interesting. And I always wished that they were going to do more of those. And when they didn't, I just just like even the
Legends
stupid cartoon things they were doing
make Pat Patterson look good.
Yeah, it was.
It was just so he could it was just a fake come out, fake reality show, even though he was already out for 30 years.
Yep.
Fucking Legends house. They made Mean Gene look like a maniac in the promos and shit. Like,
Mean Gene was always at the nightclubs chasing Hogan around and shit. Like, he was in South Beach singing Tutti Frutti and shit, man. Mean Gene's a gangster.
Oh, shit. I love that.
I was like, because, like, Mean Gene would be like, "Ho, Nature Boy Ric Flair, I saw you down at South Beach at the club last night. Women all over you down at the nightclub." It's like, Mean Gene, what the fuck were you doing there, man?
No shit.
He's catching Gene off.
He was, too. Mean Gene's like, "Hey, can I get some of that coos?" Like, what the fuck did you say, Gene? Next thing you know, he's balls deep with his bow tie and his little mustache.
Oh, damn.
You know, he got asked, like, "I'll shout you out on Nitro and on my hotline."
Yeah. I might talk about you, but you got to call the hotline to find out. Get your parents' permission first, 1-900.
Yeah, the one other thing that WWE Network was actually putting feelers out for all the subscribers is they were asking them, okay, well, what other federation would you like to see their material on WWE Network? And one of them was actually TNA. They were like trying to strike a deal to get their library and put it on the WWE Network at one time. And that was another thing that I was kind of like holding out for, and it never materialized. So I was like, you know what? Yeah. When that shit went to Peacock, I was like, yeah, good riddance.
Yeah. All right, guys, and with that, I think we're gonna wrap it up for the evening. I'm gonna go eat some dinner, and
Tony,
maybe
thank you.
Yeah, definitely. I think I should catch up on Chucky eventually. I need to watch those last few episodes, and it's
They were
Tuesday,
good.
so
They
yeah.
were good.
Hey,
Yeah,
wrestling fans, there's good wrestling in Everlasting Survivors Volume 1 all day long, available now at Etsy.com.
Yeah,
First
man.
printing still available.
Check
Pete's
it out,
got
brother.
check out Pete. He's got the book.
Oh, yeah, if you haven't checked it out yet, what are you waiting for?
Thanks,
This
guys.
is
Jeff
it's a
Hicks,
great
world class
book.
bullshitters.
Nice.
Love that, man. Thanks,
What if-
thanks, Pete. Thanks, Jeff.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
bro.
Thank you, Mr. Hicks. So, what have you got going on, Mr. Wokuian?
I've got to hang out with I got to write my essay later. But really though, I tomorrow. Let's see if I'm. Orale! Arriba la raza! There. All right, no, really. I'm done. My throat can't take. I feel like a Pat Patterson victim right now. My throat's all tore up.
There's something in your beard. Wipe that out. Wipe that out.
Did he make you gargle with it?
It was Pat Patterson's protein shake. Anyway, no, I've tomorrow I think I'll be on the dump before we go rogue. And I'll be you can check me out over on Scotty Sporky News' channel around 7:30 tomorrow night. And then me and Tony will have the Going Rogue tomorrow, episode 50, our 50th Rogue show tomorrow. That added up quickly. Like,
Yeah, we're at about a year now. So we've taken a week or two
Nice.
off, whatever.
Yeah, the only time I took a week off was when I was sick, and then over Christmas. I think those were those are the only two shows we've taken off. But yeah, so you can join us over there for our 50th episode of Going Rogue. After I'm on Sporky News, our guest will be B Rose from Black Rose Comics, Phoenix Animation, and I'm working on getting my boo Saggy Melons to come on tomorrow night with us as well. And Thursday night, I will be on Black Angus Reviews at 9:15 Eastern with him, and I think Rookie Critic. We'll probably be talking about the book of Boba's Fat as Fuck, and and Dances with Tuscans, But yeah, so that's, and then like I said, I'll be dropping some videos the rest of the week. Because I don't plan on going back to work this week, even because I'll probably be better by tomorrow, but I'm still not going back to work because, fuck it, I don't have to, so I'm not going back. I'll be making videos for you guys because we're inching close. We're 82 subscribers away from 1,000 right now, so yeah, nice. Trying to make that happen here. 918 right now, and the show from last night was fire. We're over 200 views on that episode of Going in Raw. That was a fucking great episode.
Beautiful.
Vinny was back last night. Me, Red,
That was
Tony,
bad.
Vinny had a great fun. Dude, we're gonna do more of that moving forward because people seem to like the dialogue between Brandon and Mitch McConnell and Fauci and
Pelosi.
Nancy. So
Pelosi.
yeah, we'll do more of that shit, man. So yeah. Thank you. This has been wonderful. Panel, you guys are all great. This chat rocks. Love you guys, man. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Just remember, Pat Patterson is strong for an old man.
Yeah, trust me, I know.
Vinny, what have you got going on, brother?
Well, I got COVID still, but I'm back. I think Tommy, are we still doing one tomorrow? Or
Oh yeah, man. I'm all better now, man. The internet is fixed. We nibbled off toes on Twitter. We took it to social media. CenturyLink didn't like that, and all of a sudden, lo and behold, even though they said I'm only supposed to get 3 megabytes per second, now I'm back up to in between 7 and 9 again. Amazing how that happens, huh?
Right. So all right. So Thursday I'll be on with Tommy again. We'll have our show. We'll be back. I'll probably end up doing my own on Friday again, and then Sunday is the chill stream. But I am back to painting on my book. So shout out to the Kraken, you guys. If you're still looking for it, please support it. That's campaign number 6, and it'll be ready in this first quarter. So I got a bunch of pages I need to paint, but all the pencils and inks are done. And I can't wait, man. So hell yeah.
Awesome.
You guys all rock. Love the chat too. You beautiful bastards.
They are beautiful, man. Thank you, bro. Thanks for joining us.
Always a pleasure, my friend.
Tommy.
No, what's going on, everybody? It's me, your friendly neighborhood pig. I'm back at it again. I know I had about a week or so that I got screwed over by my internet service, and I couldn't do absolutely nothing. I couldn't even upload a clip to StreamYards. It was so bad. But yeah, that's all sorted out, and we're back to doing what we do best, nibbling away at toes. Be sure to stop by on Monday nights for Going Old School Retro Discussions, where we get the panel together, talk about the old things from the past that we love so much. Hopefully we can get some more people stopping. That one where we had all you guys on, the Etep, where we had the Rogue Squad and everything on, that was great, but I would like to get more people on. I'd like to get Tony on. I'd like to get everybody back on again and have some more fun. I got a lot of good topics coming up down the pipeline that I think should be pretty interesting and should draw a lot of people in. I got a wrestling one that I want to do with you guys. Nice. I want to talk about wrestling figures. We had so much fun talking about the G.I. Joe stuff. That was a blast. I wish there wasn't quite so many interruptions while you guys were talking about it, but we still had so much fun doing that one. And the chat that showed up for that, amazing, man. You guys always knock it out of the park every single time. Much respect to the chat. The best chat on YouTube. Always a pleasure to be here, Tony, with you and Etep, Vinny. Nice to meet you, Oz, and of course, Angelous is of course as well. Angelous, when are you going to come back to Monday night, man? We miss you. It's been like a
free Monday.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
yesterday,
over a year, man. It's been over a year. We miss having the Vamp Boy on.
I was free yesterday, but I got home and was up till like noon, and then slept till like 10. So,
did you sleep upside down, hanging in what looks to be a cave? It lost.
At least not Brie Larson.
And of course, Thursdays, be sure to check us out right after Red Gaze does Rogues Gallery at 7:45. Vinny and I go live with Rogue Entertainment presents Collectible Past, where we talk about the retro and old school toys that they're inspired by and have a lot of fun discussing these toys that are actually done right. Thanks a lot to everybody that's here on the panel. Of course, all you amazing people in the chat. Remember, never let anybody tell you what you can and can't say, what you should or should not watch, because your silence gives consent, and the pigs are watching you. So hide your toes.
You're damn right, brother. Thank you for joining us tonight.
No, my pleasure.
Yeah, guys, if you're not, go check out Red Gaze too. His channel, Red Gaze, Sunsworn, Wings of Vengeance. You can go to www.sunsworn.com. Big things always happening in the community. So, Mr. Angelous Draven.
Hey guys, always a pleasure being here, talking about wrestling. After here, I'm gonna be going over to Twitch and probably playing some Fortnite and
Twitch that.
Yeah, probably playing some Fortnite. I just had my emotes and stuff finalized. I'm just waiting to get the email.
Emotes or emos?
Emotes.
Okay, all right.
And I think
we got to be sure.
The emotes, profile picture, and banner. So kind of a new look over there on Twitch with that stuff. That way, if you guys do happen to show support over there and subscribe, you guys get something out of it. And other than that, yeah, always a pleasure, guys. Fun hanging out, chatting about wrestling or whatever bullshit topics we decide to talk about.
Hell yeah, man. Thanks for joining us. It's always a blast with you on, man.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's about it. I might have a video out later this week. We'll see. You know, like Tommy, speaking of Monday nights, I want to make Going Old School. Like, I'm so tired of working Mondays. Maybe I'll take next Monday off and make it on, man, because I see you messaging the group. I'm like,
I always message the group. I've got a great group of people in there. Like, everybody loves that old school stuff. And I always tell everybody, man, Anybody is welcome at any time. If you have free time and you stop on, you want to talk about those topics, even if you just want to come on, you don't even know exactly what we're talking about that time, but you want to bring up a topic of your own. I love that stuff, man, because you never know where those conversations going to lead. Like one of the early ones I had with Slasher McSplitter, he just decided to talk wrestling. We wound up over an hour and a half, almost 2 hours later, finishing up that topic. And we never even hit one of the main topics of the night at that point yet.
I mean, that's the beauty of this format, is just the freedom to put it all out there.
Yep.
And I mean, I thank you guys very much for having me. It was great.
Yeah, dude, thanks for coming on. Fucking, you're very knowledgeable in wrestling, man. So, and yeah, everyone in the chat.
It was all the times they pinned me and didn't pay me. That's what taught me.
Yeah, for real, best lessons.
Here's a hot dog and a soda from the concession stand. Well, thanks. That's not gonna buy my fucking gas, is it?
Exactly.
Yeah, and everyone in the chat. I saw Red Gaze was here. Parrot Head, the lovely Sherry, Chris Fisk, Frankie Knows, Gap Stargate, Mr. Superfan Adam Shawhan. I know I'm forgetting my sketchbook 340, Keely Chow. Fucking love all of you. Who else am I missing here? So many, like, it was actually popping, man. Like, having tables, people. Yeah, Chris Fisk. So
Parrot
many.
Head.
Parrot Head. Yep.
Small Time Republic.
Small Time Republic.
Yep, Small Time Republic was up in here.
Yes. Just fucking, you guys do rock.
Another
You're
monster.
Awesome. Another monster. You guys, and I know you hear that a lot from a lot of the content creators, but we mean it. Like, you guys fucking rock. Thank you so much. Thank you, Etep. Thank you, Draven, Vinny, Tommy, Oz. You guys fucking rock too. And remember, they're not pop culture, they're agenda. We are pop culture. We'll see you tomorrow night on Going Row.